Wrestling fans, we're back with American Pro Wrestling, and sit back and enjoy this tag team contest. This is going to be one for the record books, Fred Wolverton. Young Cedric Alexander and Baron Smith about to join. Well, listen to the ring entrance music and figure it out for yourself. That's right. The APW Tag Team Champions, the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, right here. Multiple tag team champions. These people here at the American Coliseum know professional wrestling, and they know true superstars when they see them.
We can't even hear the ring announcer over the crowd. Isn't that amazing? You know, that's something though when the ring announcer...
Absolutely, the crowd has lost their mind. Now watch this, Fred Wolverton. Go. Wrestling fans, these people are 10 feet away from greatness. The fans have lost their mind.
I can't wait to see this tag team match.
You know, Brett Wolverton, Ricky Morton told me back in the day, this is before they used to not count the money the right way, that one night in the Greensboro Coliseum, they sold 15,000, not $15,000, 15,000 Rock and Roll Express t-shirts in one night. And I'm going to tell you right now, I said it a while ago with George South, but these boys right here about to get took to school. There is no doubt there now with the greatest tag team in history.
Cedric Alexander going to start things off against Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express.
I'm going to tell you right now, the greatest small man to ever step into the ring. There was no doubt he never stepped into a ring where an opponent was larger, but not larger in heart. Backs him into the corner. Reversal right there, that quick, off the ropes, and boom! Big shoulder tackle by the one and only Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express.
As Alexander heads to the corner to rethink his game plan this evening.
He's trying to convince the referee that it was a pull of the tights, but the fans are having none of it. They're behind Rock and Roll Express with this chant right now. But I'll tell you right now, Cedric Alexander, Baron Smith, opportunity of a lifetime.
Oh yeah, anytime you get a shot at the tag team titles is a tremendous opportunity. Yeah, we've already seen one successful defense on this program in our opener with Matt Marshall retaining the United States Championship. Now the tag team titles on the line. Ricky and Robert would love to keep that winning track on
Absolutely.
line.
But how'd you like to be these two young lions to say, not only did we wrestle the Rock and Roll Express, we beat the Rock and Roll Express. That'll be on your resume till the day you die.
Exactly. I think one of the only teams that could probably say they've got more victories over the Rock and Roll Express would be the Midnighties.
Exactly. Oh, here we go. Vintage Rock and Roll Express. Robert Gibson going to the corner, finishing it off with a solid forearm on young Baron Smith.
That back body drop almost sending Alexander into the ceiling.
And I'm going to tell you, wrestling fans, I know you're enjoying this on television, but like I said again, if you're not here at the American Coliseum, you are missing it. You are literally feet away from the ring, 10 feet from the violence, right on top of these great, great superstars like the Rock and Roll Express.
Nothing beats being here live and feeding off the energy of the crowd. You'll notice not a dull moment in these fans that we've seen here this evening.
Brett, not to put a feather in our cap, we're great color commentators, but we cannot do being here in person justice.
Of course not.
There is no doubt. And float over with a headlock. Classic, vintage, Rock and Roll Express, simple maneuver, Wrestling 101, kids down on the mat. And once again, the fans are getting behind Robert Gibson, Ricky Morton with a tag.
You'll notice the experience in Ricky and Robert.
Oh!
Keeping the fresh man in at all times.
Without a doubt. Keeping your opponent confused, keeping the fresh man in.
And they're doing a tremendous job of keeping
finally, Cedric Alexander rakes the eyes, and here comes Baron Smith, and right there was an arm drag waiting on him. Took him right to school.
For those who are curious about our third man, Billy Miller has stepped away from the table for a moment. We're sure he'll be back here later on in this program.
Well, later on, the APW heavyweight champion, Eric Anton's going to be out here. There will be no doubt that Billy Miller will be in tow. But back to the match in the ring. Robert Gibson shoots Baron Smith in, and bam, down to the mat he goes. Big side headlock, kind of taunting it. Oh! Right to the forehead with an open palm.
Another quick tag.
Another tag in. Cut off the ring. Fresh man in. Keep your opponent confused. Oh, right to the eyes by Baron Smith. That's the only way you're going to get the upper hand on the famous one-of-a-kind greatest tag team to walk the planet, the Rock and Roll Express. And in the corner, Baron Smith taking advantage of it. Shoots him in. Comes in. Big boot. Down he goes. You can't make a mistake like that.
Make a tag.
Uh-oh. Ricky Morton floating over. Look at him. Moving around like he's a teenager. And here comes Robert Gibson. I'm going to tell you right now, these guys haven't missed a step in the last 30 years. Uh-oh. This is definitely bad news for these youngins.
All four men in.
Here we go. Bam! Down he goes. Boom! Drop kick. This is probably it. And just like that, retaining the titles as they have for years and years, Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, the one and only Rock and Roll Express.
Big victory for the Rock and Roll Express, still the APW Tag Team Champions. Wasn't the day for Alexander and Smith. However, tomorrow, there's always tomorrow.
That's right. But of course, they'll always remember the night that they wrestled the Rock and Roll Express here at the American Coliseum in APW Pro Wrestling. That's the ring entrance music. I think we got an interview coming up. I do believe. TV never goes as planned.